It's a good idea to have a large repertoire of muffin recipes. And what I love about it is you can change the ingredients time and time again. This one is a standout because it's a combination of dark chocolate and beautiful plump raspberries. Have a look at these. Fantastic to snack on. And as they cook in the oven, they almost hold their shape. So I highly recommend using fresh ones for this recipe. So let's start with the basis of any good muffin recipe, some self-raising flour, some sweetness, so some caster sugar. I like to add a pinch of salt to bring out the flavours that we're going to be adding to this, so the raspberries and the chocolate. And I love a hint of cinnamon. Give that a quick stir to combine the dry ingredients. At this stage, I can add my dark chocolate. You could also use white chocolate for this. White chocolate and raspberries work really nicely together. And whenever you're cooking with chocolate, please use a really good quality one, just like this one. So I'm just going to break off about 2/3 of this. And whenever I'm cutting chocolate, this is a little trick that I learnt. Use a serrated knife. You can see you've got much more control over the chop if you use a serrated knife. So you're just going to cut that into rough pieces. Okay, that can go in with our dry ingredients. Now to elevate these muffins even more, I'm adding some muesli. So about 200 grams of toasted muesli. This one has cranberry and macadamias through it, so lots of interesting ingredients. I'm also just going to hold back a little bit of this because I'm going to add it to the top with a few extra raspberries. So we'll mix that through, just really evenly distribute that toasted, nutty style muesli. Okay, in another bowl, we'll get on to the wet ingredients. So 2 eggs, crack them straight into a separate bowl. 1. And there's a little shell in there. And the best way to get the shell out, because it happens to the best of us, is to actually use the shell. For some reason, it acts like a magnet. So instead of getting a spoon in there or your finger, use the actual shell and you'll see it come out really easily. To this, some oil. I'm using grapeseed. You could also use any other type of vegetable oil. And some milk. And just a quick whisk. Break those eggs up and combine everything together. Okay, wet ingredients always go into the dry ingredients. So we'll pour that in. And then we'll just slowly incorporate that until we get quite a nice thick batter. And in actual fact, I'm going to take that whisk out and just use a spoon. It's just much easier to fold together. Just like any cake or muffin, you don't want to overwork that flour. That's looking very nice. Okay, for our raspberry and toasted muesli crunch, we'll grab our raspberries and we're going to add 3/4 of them to a bowl, and the rest of them can just go into our batter. Just break them up into little pieces. We'll add some more of that muesli and just give that a bit of a toss. Okay, let's start filling up our muffin patty pans. Just got some classic white ones, so the raspberries really pop as you see them bake on the top of this. So we'll spoon the mixture in, and you want to fill it about 3/4 of the way up. They will expand quite a lot because of that self-raising flour, so don't overfill them. And we'll grab some of our raspberries, break them up again, just pop them on the top with some of that muesli for some extra crunch. And they'll just slightly sink in to that muffin as it cooks. So I'm going to continue filling these up, and then they go into the oven, 180 degrees for about 30 minutes, or until a skewer that's pierced all the way through the centre comes out clean. How good do these raspberry muffins look? You can see it's crispy on the top from the muesli and the raspberries are still poking out there. I like to finish it off with just a hint of icing sugar, not too much because I really want to show off the raspberries, so just a little bit to take it to the next level. They look very much like they've come out of a cafe, and I've cooled them down as always. And we'll just pop them onto this board. Now, of course, it's all about the taste. So I'm just gonna have a taste to make sure that they're absolutely perfect for you. And I'm gonna break into one of these. Oh, look at that. That little bit of chocolate in there that's melted. The raspberries. Now that is a good muffin.